Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're catching us from. It's Friday. Oh my gosh, it's Wednesday, and it's another Wednesday, and I'm so grateful that we're all here. I know, slip of the tongue. What do I think? I'm wanting to let days go by faster. They're going by too fast as it is already. But we have a beautiful day today, and I'm excited because we have a really special guest. We always have special guests, but today is we're in for a real treat who's coming by today, and we're going to be talking to this wonderful woman. Nicole, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And you know what? You've been traveling. So in terms of days, your world kind of stops. You just get up and you don't have anything to do when you're on vacation. So, how would you know what day it is? So I understand completely. I'm the same way when I travel, but I absolutely love our Wednesdays. I love our guest today. And I'm just, it's a good day. It's always a good day.
I love it too. So please introduce, because she has got such a variety of things that she's been doing and going to be doing, that we need all the time we can to talk to her.
Absolutely. And it would be easier to tell you what this young lady doesn't do. She has so much at such a young age under her belt that it's absolutely unbelievable. And so I'm just going to tell you, she's a singer, she's a songwriter. She's an actress. She's the TV host of her own show, Songs of My Life, where she interviews songwriters about their musical journey. She can hear a quote and she will write a song about it. And one of her favorite songs is Smile, It's Your Best Makeup. And I just want everyone to know I was in that music video. So obviously that's one of my most favorite songs. But I got to tell you, this gal is something else. And I love the fact that I can call her my friend. And so let's welcome Luana Sandoval to our stage.
Hello.
Welcome, Luana. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, so I see that there's so much going on, and we have had the blessings of meeting them a while ago, and so much has changed since we've met. And I am just thrilled to hear all about your career. It has totally taken off. So let's start off with, you've got a new interview show that's going on. Tell us all about what's going on.
Yes, so my TV show, Songs of My Life, is currently airing on Access Nashville. You can watch it on cable TV when you're based in Tennessee or online. And currently, episode 7 is streaming with my guest, Myrna Lewis. She's my fiddle player. She played on a bunch of tracks. And the fun thing, how this idea came together, I went to a producer's workshop on how to become a TV host at NICA Network in Nashville back in July of last year. And we had a 2-day class. And there was another songwriter sitting in this class. Her name is Deborah Bishop. And then I came up with this idea. I could host a TV show about songwriters and talk about what inspired them to write songs. Usually you get to listen to A-list singers like Adele, but you never get to listen to musicians and all the people behind the song that make it possible to put a hit song together. So I came up with this idea, Songs of My Life, and everybody voted for my idea, and we created within a day a 10-minute TV show, and I interviewed Deborah Bishop, and from there a series of 10 episodes came together.
Wow, that is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me about the Made of Money.
Made of Money, that was in 2019 in New York. I had a leading role, and I also wrote the music for the short film, and then it was screened at the New York Festival.
So you didn't start off though like this. How did you first get into music? What started your love for it, or did you fall into it, or have you been taking music lessons all your life? Where did it all start?
Okay, so I started out as a dancer at the age of 5, and singing came later at the age of 10. And when in 2012, I studied opera singing in Saarbrücken, Germany for 4 years. And from there, I performed in musical theater shows and opera productions. And then in 2018, I moved to New York first, and I got into film, and then I found a way on how to connect film and music, and that's where I'm at right now.
Luana, what was that like? You lived in Germany, you had a dream, you came over here by yourself, correct?
That's right, all by myself without any connections.
What was that like? What was in your mind that I'm going to do this? You get on the plane by yourself and you get off in New York, right?
Yes, so fun fact, while I was studying in the 4 years, I was sitting in music studios to rehearse and to practice, and then I fell in love with just improvising on my piano. And then I had a vision of a dancer who was moving to New York, and I put a whole dance play together. I wrote 8 instrumental tracks in the style of Abel Korzeniowski and Philip Glass, minimal music. And I performed this dance play in 2015 in a theater in Germany. And from there, I was like, okay, it's more about myself, actually. And then I just had this vision of moving to New York at some point. I first came here as a tourist in December of 2016. And it was clear the minute I walked to Times Square, I was like, okay, this is the city. I like this energy. I like this creativity. Let's move here.
And have you been on one of the billboards in Times Square yet?
Not yet, but very soon. Who knows?
Okay. Yes, we'll manifest that for you.
Yes.
So at what age did you move to New York again?
I moved when I was 26, and so that was in May of 2018.
So when was, I understand you were on, you went on a talent show, America's Got Talent, is that correct?
American Idol, that was
American Idol.
I auditioned in November of 2020 in Ojai, California for the celebrity judges, Katy Perry, Luke Bryan, and Lionel Richie. And and then they aired my audition in February of 2021.
And what happened at that point in time?
So I auditioned with the song Frozen by Madonna, but I made it my very own version. I combined opera singing with pop singing, and I included some belly dance movements, and the judges loved my style, but they said it's not the right fit. It's not, I'm too unique.
I don't know how you can be too unique, but that's crazy. So out of all of that, I mean, I know you do aerial, I know of, you belly dance, you do all these. What step leads you to the next one? Are you just interested in everything, or have you had a calling to do these things? Or, did your mom push you towards them? What inspires you? What motivates you to go to the next thing?
I get a lot of inspiration by other artists or traveling, different cultures. So the area thing, I always wanted to do it. And I have some friends who are into it. And then I started out last year in Nashville, January of 2022. And within 5 months, I had my very first showcase with my 2 friends that studied with me together area. And I'm also planning on putting it into my show and combining it with singing while I'm in the air, like Pink does. So it's always good to have special skills also, especially as an actress, and so I can add that to my resume.
Do you ever have fear that holds you back?
No, I have so much inspiration. Life is short, and whenever I have an idea, and whenever I have something I want to try out, I go for it.
Wow.
In a big way, she goes for it.
Yeah, because there's people that are going to be watching and say, how does she do it? What is it? Is there something that ever stops her? Have you ever had that time where you sort of guess yourself or second guess yourself whether you should do something or not?
So of course, my focus is in songwriting and singing. That's my main thing. That's where I'm best, and also dancing. And then the other things like acting are more on the side, an area, but it's always nice to have those special skills as well. And of course, I can see myself where I'm best at and where I have to practice more, or where I have to put in more effort. Same with piano playing. I have to really practice because I'm a singer performer, and I can play well enough to compose music, but when I record my songs, I hire a pianist. Same with violin. I used to play violin. I was really good when I was starting out, but now I don't practice enough because my focus is in singing and songwriting. So yeah.
So if you had to pick, I know you wouldn't give up anything, but what is your absolute favorite?
My absolute favorite is songwriting because I can tell a story, I can turn a quote into a song or talk for other people, and so make people feel better. So when I had went through crazy times and I listened to a song over and over again, and it felt me, it made me feel better. So I want to give that back.
So
That's
I
amazing.
understand that when you hear something like a phrase or something, that you all of a sudden can make songs out of this.
Yes.
Tell
So
us about this.
yes, so our lovely mentor Forbes Riley, she always says, life happens for you, not to you. And she says it every time when we have class. And I was like, okay, there should be a song about it. And then I had this idea, and she also smiles all the time. And then I put it into my song, Smile, It's the Best Makeup. And at the end of the song, I turn it into a gospel song where I sing, life happens for you, and stuff. So, yeah. And also Forbes, obviously she loved the song because I dedicated the song to her, and she played it in her show Forbes Factor Live, the radio show. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I got to dance in it.
Yes, Nicole danced in it. We were all wearing gold because the theme was gold, and yeah.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And it is a beautiful song. It really is. It just,
Thank you.
to hear, for me, you know, I love phrases and I love quotes and everything, but when I hear something, it doesn't turn into music for me. So that's really a unique skill that you have.
Yes.
And I want to hear about your acting too. I know you just did something in a Dolly Parton movie.
Yes, so I am signed with the Stair Agency in Tennessee, Clinton, and my agent got me into Dolly Parton's movie Mountain Magic Christmas, which streamed on NBC last year in December. And I was able to stand right in front of Dolly Parton. We were really close, and we danced all together to her song, where it goes something like this: whoever you are, do that. It's very uplifting, and then we all dance together like crazy. And I have multiple shots of me in the movie, and also Jimmy Fallon is in the movie.
Oh.
And 2 weeks ago, I went to the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and then he came to the audience because he wanted to get to know us. And he said, if you have any questions, ask me. I raised my hand. Hey, Jimmy, we worked together on Dolly Parton's movie. And then he came to me, he hugged me. I was like an old man. Oh yeah, I enjoyed working with Dolly Parton. She is so lovely. And yeah, and then I said, yeah, I had this scene for the song. And I also told him that I was on American Idol and wrote a song with Madonna's percussionist. And Rita Ora was in the show, and she heard our conversation. And then Jimmy Fallon said, oh, you should, now I have 2 singers. What should I do?
Wow, that's amazing. That's it. And you know, I love the fact that you turn that visit there into an opportunity for yourself. Because what if you hadn't said anything, you know? So that's beautiful. You never know what doors will open when you talk about yourself.
Exactly.
especially with everything you've got going on. That's, and I just need to know, is Dolly as nice as she seems to be?
She is so down to earth. Like, she made jokes. She talked to everyone, hugged almost everyone. So took pictures with my other actor friends from the same agency. So she's very down to earth. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, she seems like she is. So can we still watch that on TV, or was it just a special?
You can still, if you go to the website nbc.com, you can find it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, there's,
And I understand you're coming to us today from your studio in New York.
Yes, in Brooklyn. I'm renting a little music studio. That's where I do my recordings, my demos. So because so I have more, me time. I'm not distracted by any noise or my roommates. So that's perfect.
Can you show us a little bit about what your music studio looks like from
Of
where you
course,
are?
yeah. All right, so looks like this. My piano's right here, and then there's my studio mic right there, and then there are drums behind me. I don't play the drums, but yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
that is fun. Then you've got your little meditation Buddha behind you. I see that. That's very cool.
Yeah.
So I can't. I guess I can't in any way think that you're not a person where you must believe in manifesting things, because you've manifested so many things throughout your life.
So true. Yeah.
So as a little girl, were you already starting to manifest? Were you already thinking of where you needed to go or what you wanted to do?
I didn't know where I wanted to go, where I needed to go, which country, but I knew from a very young age that I'm not going to stay in Germany. I knew that.
And did your family come forward with you into the US afterwards?
No, my family is still in Germany.
Okay.
Yes, I'm the only one. Yeah, making it happen in America.
That's so brave. So brave. I mean, to be, even at 26, we think we're so grown up, but when you're leaving a country and coming to someplace new, to me, even when I travel, sometimes it's a little bit daunting to step into a new country because you don't know anything. But to go live there, what were your first thoughts? How did you know what to do first? I'm just curious, what was your sequence?
Okay, so my first month in May, I spent time finding a place to stay because I could, my friend who I met when I was in New York for the first time, he offered me to stay at his place for a few weeks until I find my apartment. So without any credit score and etc., like starting from scratch, it was hard to find a place to stay. But then I joined Facebook groups for gypsy housing, and that's how I found my first apartment in New York back in that was in June of 2018. So that was my first month, finding a place to stay, like really starting from scratch, and then finding work and etc. But then I came across a mentorship program called Friends in Film, taught by Janet Urban. She's a sound mixer based in LA, and she teaches how to break into the industry, in the film industry, or without going to film school. So I used her program. It's about 10 months, and I took her advice, and then I got into TV shows with Bruce Willis and Paris Hilton. So I worked my way up.
Wow. So did you ever have to, everybody moves someplace and they have to wait tables till they make it big. Did you ever have to wait tables, or were you able to break in to what you wanted to do when you got there?
Well, as a production assistant, that's the best way to get into the industry, film industry. And so that I was right there in the middle of everything, and I made so many connections. I went to all the film festivals, and also this helped me to get more music gigs, to meet music producers, etc. And
okay. And is it from what you're seeing, is it a cutthroat place like people talk about, or have you been met with everyone being nice and helpful? And What have you experienced in this industry?
From my experience, when you have something to offer, then people are more likely to help you. So when you can say, here comes the pitch thing. So when you can do something for somebody, then people are willing to help you. And also that's I worked hard on my network of people, and so whenever I had something to offer, I said, hey, I have this at the event, let's go there. And then this person helped me with something else and introduced me to their network. So
breaking into this industry is really difficult, but you've done such a great job. And how many years has this taken you so far?
So I'm still growing. I don't see. So I would say like I had my breakthrough in 2021 when I lived in Nashville, and so that's another thing. So during the pandemic, I moved to a new town, but I used the system that I used here in New York, and I started out there in the film business and film industry, and have a huge network of people in Nashville now as well.
Wow. And I'm just curious because everything shut down in 2020.
Yes.
But you moved in 2020?
Yes, I moved. So I was I'm a freelance artist. So of course everything got canceled, all my gigs. And then in October of 2020, I went to Nashville for a month to just check out the city, and I was already thinking of eventually moving there just because New York was completely shut down. There was no way to stay and work and as an artist. And then Nashville was the complete opposite. I got gigs again and found an apartment right away. And then I said, okay, that's it. So I auditioned I went back to New York in November. And then from there, I flew to California to audition for American Idol. And from there, I moved to Nashville in December of 2020. Yes.
Well, Glenda, are you seeing that when she gets an idea, she just goes for it?
No, I am so taken by this. It's just beautiful because most of us, when there's, especially moving from one, well, it's not country, but from one city to another, or countries, it's ridiculous how people hold off on things, and there's nothing that stops you. You're just, you're like, a little butterfly that just picks up and flies to the next place. And I love it.
It's fearless. You're fearless. I think about that for myself, even, at my age. I'm like, I don't think I could have ever had, probably not the self-esteem or the confidence or the courage to do something like that on my own. I really don't. So I'm open mouthed. It blows me away how much you've done.
Yeah.
And alone.
Just kudos to my mentors, Janet Urban. It all started with her training, and she taught us how to be bold, how to, and then also, of course, Forbes Riley and my other mentor, Wendy Elaine Wright, who is the founder of the Hollywood Winners Circle. So it's also kudos to them. Without them, I wouldn't be that brave.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, it's not credit because you are obviously are. So I'm just real. Yeah, we're both taken by you. So I understand that you've also been interviewed and are going to be in some magazines. Tell us about this.
Yes. So I am in the magazine Canvas Rebel. They did an interview with me last year in November. So it's online. You'll find it. Luana Sandoval, Canvas Rebel. A long interview about my musical journey, and then I talk about some stories on how I wrote those songs, and due to some events that happened in my life, and talk about my TV show and my goal with this one. So right now I completed season 1, but I want to take it to the next level. I'm gonna produce season 2 here in New York, and then I'm going to LA in July and August for season 3. I'm already in touch with the studio, Pasadena Media, and so also
awesome is great.
Yes, a few weeks ago a record label called Alien Amp Records reached out to me. They are interested in signing me and also helping me with my TV show and my music. So there's some exciting music projects coming up.
So tell us more of what's coming up for you.
So this weekend I'm flying over to Nashville to meet with my co-writer Deborah Bishop. We're working on new songs, and and then I have an audition for this record label, and so this how much I can say right now.
Okay. Ooh, that sounds exciting. But I mean, I sit here and I'm going to say, and you're also a Bollywood dancer.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Okay, how did that happen? I was 17 years old, and my love for Oriental or Bollywood music was in 2007 when I was in Egypt for 2 weeks, and there was a belly dancer, Bollywood dancer. And then I said, okay, one day I want to do that too. And then when I was 17, I found a belly dance instructor. And from there, I had gigs here and there while I was going to school. So on the weekends, I make money as a dancer. And it happened to get to this point that I was featured in the music video One Name by the music group Sela in Nashville. And this got me a nomination for a Josie Music Award for Best Performance in a Music Video.
Wow.
The award show was last year in Nashville at the Grand Ole Opry in October.
I love it. It just seems like everything's falling into place for you. It's all moving forward. The best laid plans or no plans. You're just moving forward. So have you started, do you have an actual plan of action going forward, or you're just sort of throwing it all out there and things are just happening as they appear?
Well, it's a combination of both. I put my vision board together. So as I already mentioned, I'm gonna do season 2 of my TV show in the spring in New York. In the summer, I go to LA for season 3. And also, once I have it all together, I want to pitch it to major networks such as Netflix and see how the record label can help me with that. And so I'm really, really excited for that.
Wow, that is very exciting. I'm guessing you had a mother that stood behind you as a young girl and encouraged you. Would I be correct in that assumption? Because I'm hearing all these things you did, and you have to have a lot of support when you're young and you want to try everything. And it seems like you have tried everything.
Yeah, so as a little girl, I had a lot of hobbies. And my parents always supported me in everything. But at some point, my mom said, okay, let's make a decision. What do you want to do? And then it was always music related. And then she supported me to study opera singing for 4 years. And from there, it was clear, okay, I knew that it was not my goal on becoming an opera singing, but the technique is amazing. And from there I knew that I have to do songwriting and write songs and tell my stories and move to New York. And that was so in my 20s it became more clear what my path is.
So did opera give you some of the skills that you need that you're using today?
Yes, absolutely. Same with the dancing. I started out with classical ballet, and it helped me with, especially when you do all the spins and belly dance, to not get dizzy.
Like I would be fainting on the floor.
To have a classical foundation. Same with piano playing and violin. I'm a classical trained, so my background is in classical music, and it's
okay.
Perfect.
Hold on. How many instruments do you play?
So I started out with piano, and then I learned violin, and I learned some guitar. So it's enough to write music on it, but I wouldn't call myself a musician. I don't perform with my instruments, so I always hire other musicians. I'm the singer and dancer.
And on top of that, how many languages do you speak?
I speak 5 languages. I already had 2 languages because of my parents. My father's from Nicaragua, my mom is German. And so I had that already. And then I just learned French in school, and I learned Bulgarian and English, of course.
Glenda, think about, I mean, just in the half hour that we've been live, doesn't she blow you away?
Like,
I mean,
yeah. I have a hard enough time, as you can see, with English, never mind anything else. And all these, like, I remember in school playing, I used to play the saxophone, and I struggled playing. I wasn't musically inclined. Like some people, certain things come to. I have my other gifts that are my geniuses, but you know, I really appreciate where you're coming from and all the talents and gifts that you've been given. And most importantly, what I really want to say is that you've actually taken advantage of it. How many people sit on their talents and hold themselves back? And you know, that just having the courage of moving from one country to another, to picking up and leaving, and pushing yourself out there and just doing it, you know, like, unbelievable. And I've seen your belly dancing because of course, you know, we've been in enough connections of groups together, so you know, you're being able to have that body that it's able to move itself. Like, it's just so, you're so talented. I love it. I love it. And I'm so happy for you to see how much of it is just coming alive. Like, you know, it was just meant to happen for you.
absolutely. And, you know, I remember you telling me a story that you actually were bullied when you were younger.
Yes, so I was 14, and that was a really difficult time. My parents got divorced at the same time. I was bullied, and people thought I'm strange, like out of space. I also behaved a little bit. I must say I behaved different than my classmates, and I used to stay like in the corner, and I was very introvert. You know, and then people thought I'm strange. And then I had my guitar at home and my notebook, and that's how I discovered songwriting. And funny enough, I never wrote a song. Well, I wrote 2 songs in German, but I didn't feel connected to this language. So at the age of 14, with my broken English, I wrote my first song called "Who Am I?" with 2 chords.
Oh.
And then I was able to open up a little bit through my songwriting, but I never really talked with my parents about it. It was just me, my notebook, and my guitar. And then over the years, I knew that I have to do something with music. I didn't know what, but I knew I had something bigger than just being a regular clerk, or, you know, doing a 9-to-5 job. Yeah.
And that's what makes her story so extraordinary, is, you know, having parents that divorced, being an introvert, being bullied, you know, not really coming home and staying just in her room with her notebook. And so she had that journey, and that would have literally just, for a lot of just people, they wouldn't be able to move forward like you did. And so I think you're an absolute inspiration and such a great mentor for younger people also, because, you know, that a lot of people would have not been able to do what you did and you've done and are doing so well. So for me, your story is absolutely incredible.
I love it. So if there's any parents out there, or even younger people who are, you know, feeling that they're bullied or holding themselves back because they're maybe having that not good enough syndrome or something that's holding, do you have some type of message that you could share that would help a parent or a child move forward in their own life?
So in my case, I thought there's something wrong with me because people treated me differently, and I was not like not popular at all, and then over the years I thought, okay, I'm different, but everything is all right with me. And then I found people that are the same, exactly like me, especially in the music scene. Other songwriters, they're like, we're creatives, we see the world a little different. And even like the A-list stars, Rihanna got bullied, so many other stars got bullied because of like their physical appearance or whatever it was. And I would say you are perfect the way you are.
Love it.
That's the message. You are perfect the way you are. Don't change yourself for other people. If people don't like you the way you are, they're not your friends. And you just step away and find people who love and adore you just the way you are.
I'm seeing a book in her future.
I love it too. Yeah, I could definitely see a book coming through.
Yeah.
Well,
And
we've got a lot to share.
Yes. That's
yeah,
a good idea.
you're an absolute, not just a success story, but you still resonate with your heart, and that comes through all the time, and so that in itself leads me to believe this, you've got a lot more coming your way in terms of goodness, heartness, and leading with your heart. I'm just so excited for you.
Thank you so much.
So
And the most important thing of your own lessons can help so many other people. Have you ever thought of now being a mentor to younger people moving forward?
Yes. So I love being a mentor because you also learn on when you are a mentor, when you teach, you learn about yourself, you learn about your student. I had some vocal students that were in the exact boat as myself when I was 14, like low self-esteem, and they were being bullied, and I was like, okay, oh yeah, I feel exactly the same. I was exactly the same. There's nothing wrong with you. And then they broke out in tears, and then, okay, it's all good. Let's sing together. And then they felt so much better after the vocal lessons. And yeah, it's just amazing to give back based on my life experience and make people feel better about themselves, about life.
Yeah, it does a lot for you just by giving out to others and watching you, just as we have now been watching you grow, as you'll be watching now of your younger students growing and starting to change their lives.
Yes.
It really fills the heart.
It does. And when she has a story like that she can share, that, she felt different, she felt picked on and stayed in a room. I think so many people that would hear that, so many younger kids that would hear that and look at you now and read, this resume, that you didn't let life stop you. You controlled life. Life didn't control you.
Yes.
So I think, oh man, it gives me goosebumps to talk about that. I love that.
So I want to ask you one other thing as well. Would you sing a song for us?
Yes. So right now I'm working on a Spanish song. It's very new. I wrote it in November. I'm doing some demos for it. And it's a Spanish song. It's called Dime, which means tell me. It's a love song. And yeah, I can share a little bit. The chorus, I can share the chorus. Okay. Dime si me amas con tu corazón. Dime si tus emociones son real.
You got a great voice.
She does. She absolutely does. And you know what? Did I see you modeling the other day? Did I see you with the black dress on?
Yes, the minute I moved back to New York, that was end of November of last year. Of course, I had tons of connections because I lived here for 2.5 years before I moved to Nashville. And then the city got me back, and there's all the energy, and okay. And then I met a designer, a fashion designer at the bitter end, where I sang one of my original songs, and she approached me and said, "Hey, I design clothes for stars and for any singers," and then she told me about this fashion show she had coming up that was February 12th, and I said, "Oh, I do also some modeling, but I never modeled for New York Fashion Week. I did some modeling here, some photography." And then she said, "Oh, you would be perfect because I'm representing the Latin community, and since I'm half Nicaraguan, that was the perfect fit." And then she hired me for her fashion show.
Love it. Love it.
I know, because I could see you in that black dress singing that song you just sang.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh hi Paula. Paula is here, my little sister. She's currently in Panama, and yeah, we became like sisters.
Oh, how
So
nice.
she's not she's your sister from another mother type of thing?
Yeah, sister from another mother. Yeah.
I love it. Well, yeah, and I'm so certain that she's feeling so blessed to have you. So let me ask you, what do you think what are one of the keys to your success?
My keys to my success, one of them is putting a team of people together that help me put my vision out there. I'm speaking about my TV show. So I was able to put it all together, to have a team of people that help me get this TV show out there. Without them, I wouldn't be that far. I mean, I had an incredible editor who helped me to edit this, like 10 episodes. That's a lot of work. And then also videographers and audio technicians. So kudos to them. Kudos to Nika Network, like really. And also my lovely co-writer, Deborah Bishop. Without her, she wasn't there in the producers class. I would have never had this idea of putting a show together for singer-songwriters.
Wow.
So it's not always just we count on ourselves, right? It's part of the whole idea is connecting with others and being able to put ourselves out there to feel, that other people are there to help us along our journey as well.
Yes, so true. And always when people help you, always help them as well when they need something from you. So it's always giving and receiving.
Yeah, that's very important because people talk about how, Hollywood, New York, Nashville, it's, not everyone has everyone's back and there's a lot of competition. So that's what I was wondering about. And it seems like you formed this team around you, which lends to the idea that who we are and our vibration pulls in these great people. And it sounds like you've got a team of absolutely fantastic people that you're working with too.
Yes, it's love and attraction. So I have a team of people in Nashville and New York and some lovely people in LA. And it's all about how you approach people and do it from a place of love and be giving. So it's always good to be a giver more than being a receiver. And then people love to work with you and help you out. And and also behind every hit song, there's a team of people because it's a game. And I wouldn't call myself I'm a great musician. I'm a great singer though, but in order to put a great song together, you need somebody who is great at playing the piano or a co-writer, and then you can share ideas and make it even better and bigger than when you would do it on your own. Also music production wise and etc.
So staying humble is such an important factor that you didn't seem to let any ego get in the way.
So true. The best example is Dolly Parton. She is big. She's a legend. She has tons of money, but she's still this country girl from the Smoky Mountains and so down to earth and so humble. And she's giving back to her community. So I want to be like her too.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's good to know. I would have been broken if you'd said anything different because I've always loved her. And she seems so kind. And I think our world has to revolve around kindness in any situation. So, that's to hear you say that you want to give back. I love that also.
And it's so important that's what relationships are all about, though, isn't it? It's not looking to always get, but looking to how much you can give.
Yes.
It makes a lot, the world becomes a much kinder and more beautiful place, doesn't it?
So true. Yes, I agree with that.
Absolutely. Do you have any funny moments you could tell us about, like when you're just sitting in a coffee shop and you're either recognized or someone, like you overhear someone and talk to them? Is there any like funky moments that you've had in your life that kind of stand out?
Well, I went to the Late Show the other day with Stephen Colbert, and at the beginning of the taping, you can ask him any questions. So, of course, I did it the Forbes way. I raised my hand. Hey, Stephen, I'm a singer-songwriter. I was on American Idol. And then he was like, oh, you were on American Idol. And then I said, I'm also a songwriter. And then he said, okay, let's sing some bars. Let's sing your audition song from American Idol, which was Frozen by Madonna. And then I sang, and then everybody was looking at me, whoa, okay. And then he was like, he came closer and closer. And then he said, that was really good. You should be on my show. Oh, yeah, of course, I should be.
You're right. Yeah, and you know what I'm seeing here, she takes advantage of every situation, not knowing where it's going to lead, and I think that's something that people need to know. To put yourself out there. People can tell you no, but they can also tell you yes.
Exactly.
And isn't that that's the perfect way to do it. I love it. I love the fact that you're so fearless. And I think that, people want to make something of themselves and change their life. The thing is you got to step out into it and don't worry about where it's going to go.
Exactly. Because if you don't try.
I think we just got frozen.
Yeah. So just go for it.
So, have you had a moment where you're just so at this point where you're pinching yourself and you're saying to yourself, I don't think is this real? You have those moments of feeling that, oh my gosh, is this possible? Is this really real that's happening?
Yeah, so I had this moment when I was standing in front of Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and Luke Bryan. I was like, oh wow, okay, this is real. It's not TV. I am TV. I am in this TV show. And I'm right in front of these famous people. And then I was like, okay, freaking out the first seconds. But then I was like, okay, they're just like me. They started out from scratch. And then I was like, they're just human beings. They're my music peeps. And I just did my thing. And yeah, and they were so nice to me. It's really like very humble. It's like Dolly Parton. So I had a good experience with those judges. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. And that's a really key point. Well, what you're just saying there right now is you just talk to yourself and putting them on the same level as you. So, that's an important thing is stop putting other people up on pedestals, right?
Yes, so true. This is what I learned over the years because when I was 16, like any other teenager, they're worshiping all those famous singers. I was worshiping Madonna. And then over the years I learned, okay, she's just a human being. She started out from scratch with no money. And I met most of her dancers and music producers that have worked with her back in the 80s and 90s. And they told me stuff about her, how she started out like very broke, and I was okay. She's just a normal person. She's just a few steps ahead of me. So and then I learned how to behave when I work with celebrities and treat them like normal, regular people. Have nice conversations, and that's it. Yeah.
And I'm curious, Luana, because this story, it really is amazing. If you were to be able to tell your younger self, maybe your 8-year-old self or your 10-year-old self, a bit of advice looking back, what would you tell her?
I would tell her, don't be afraid of yourself. Just be your true authentic self and don't change yourself for nobody.
Great message.
It
Yes.
is. It
Great
is.
message. So many people today are just looking to be something else and somebody else instead of being themselves.
Yeah, this is so sad. I used to do that when I was bullied in school.
Yeah.
And I thought I have to be as famous as Madonna in order to be loved and by people. And then I found out, okay, Madonna has a bunch of haters as well. And yeah, so not everybody loves her.
Yeah.
And it was okay. And I found my true authentic self when I turned 30. Yeah, it took a while. It was a kind of a journey. Yeah.
And was it
I'm still having mine too. So I love listening to her. Don't you, Glenda? You know, putting ourselves out there. It's like, well, she had a journey at 30. That was a long time ago for me, but I'm still journeying. So you have so far to go. I can't wait to see what you do.
Yeah.
Well, life is that journey. So it's about getting excited and doing the most that you can with the
Yes.
time that you have right there, right?
Absolutely. Every day is a blessing.
No, I love hearing that. So, Luana, we got to have some people that are wondering, how can they get in touch with you?
Okay, so you can reach out at info@luanasandoval.com, or you can go to my website, www.luanasandoval.com, and schedule a free 15-minute discovery call. And if you have questions regarding music business, songwriting, or vocal technique, anything, then we can discuss this. Or yeah.
Or if they want to be maybe taken under your wing as being a protege.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I love it. So where are you off to now? Where's your next venture off to in the next day or two? Are you flying off somewhere now?
Yeah, so I'm flying to Nashville on Friday until Tuesday to meet with my co-writer Deborah Bishop, and we're working on new songs together. Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful. Well, we're getting close to the end of our time, unfortunately, and it's been fabulous. But I want to always ask, before we finish off, what special secret or golden nugget can you give to somebody else that maybe is a young person looking to start out on this venture that you're on now, or just somebody to believe in their own selves? What type of, encouragement can you give to them?
Okay, so find your purpose in life, and if you want to break into the entertainment industry, don't do it because of the fame and fortune. Do it if what feels right for you, for your soul. If this nurtures your soul, the songwriting or the acting, then do it for this reason, not for fame. And most people, that's the big mistake also with social media. People think that are new to this industry. I think, okay, with the social media, I can get famous within a day or make millions of dollars. That's not true at all, and it's a hard life. I mean, you have to take so many lessons in acting, singing, dancing. It takes at least a decade to get that good, and then from there's no guarantee in really making it. So if you still have the fire for it, then go for it and don't do it for the money or for the fame.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you're a lot older than what you appear in so many ways.
Yeah,
that's really a compliment.
People say I have an old soul.
Yeah.
A very old spirit. I feel like everybody has at least 3 ages: your real age, then the age you look like, and then your spirit age.
I love it. Yeah. I believe that too.
Yes.
And Nicole, of course, we would never end a day without some golden nuggets from you.
Thank you, Glenda. And when I met Luana, it's been a little bit over a year. She was one of my first accountability partners when we were working with Forbes. And I just, there's I could be her mother, maybe even her grandmother. We won't go there, but I resonated with her immediately. And one of the reasons I did was because of her kindness, because she was so real. And to me that, you know, after hearing she's been in New York and Nashville and she's a singer, songwriter, and this, I'm like, you know, the minute you talk to her, everything is just like, this girl is real. She's kind, she's lovely. And I just fell in love with her, and I still am. And when she talks about being a mentor, you know, there's so much turmoil in the world right now with our younger generation, if you will. You know, there have been times even when my daughters have had some issues or been picked on or been bullied. And we need people like Luana out there, spreading the word of positivity, of love, being a heartfelt leader, especially with the industry she's in. She's not going to tell you it's easy. She told you to do it from your heart. Do you love it? Because you're not always going to make money and you're not always going to be famous, but you're going to, if you do something with your heart internally, you're going to be happy. And I think that's one of the most important messages we can give to everybody. What is it you love? What do you want to do to make the world a better place? And Luana is doing just that.
I agree. And I want to tell you, you know, from the time I met you as well, you were the most person that I saw who was just the most grounded person. And, you know, you had so many talents and I didn't even know half of them, but you know, the groundedness and the kindness that comes out, it oozes out of you. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for knowing you and watching you now as you are climbing. And your messages of being yourself, of being who you are, not being for others. And that's really a huge message that, as you're saying, our young generation right now needs it. And not in mind, just even the younger generation, you know, even the older generation of what's going on, even as you watch with social media, and people are all trying to be somebody that they're not. And so that I give you all the more power, my dear. And I want to thank you so much for joining us today and for spreading your beauty amongst us and with our guest here today. And I wish you nothing but the greatest success. And I'll be just thrilled sitting back and watching you go and climbing high. And remember, we'll say, yeah, she was here.
And Glenda, let's make a pact right now that when she gets nominated, we'll go to the Grammys with her.
Okay, we're going.
You are my
or Nashville, or wherever you are. We'll come find you, Luana.
Yes.
We'll start your fan club going.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed the time with you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much as well. And remember today, everybody, the messages that Luana shared with us, these are something that if you know somebody who is having their own troubles or finding their own self or looking for their own passion, please take this tape and pass it on to somebody else who needs to see it. These messages are really real and worth somebody else hearing it. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
For them.